And that's good. Nietzsche is so well known.
You're saying it as an outward thing, and you're happy with that.
It relates to me.
But I say you also as co-author of life. Like with Christ, what Christ teaches is that we are co-creators with God. Right? And when he tells us the kingdom of heaven is here now. Nigh meaning now. We're in it. We're not going to die and go there. We're in it now. So if you're looking this experience, this greater enlightenment, it's here right now, but you become blind. And when he talks about making the blind see, those were people that, the people that read the book and say he's talking about literal people who lack the ability of sight, suddenly having the ability of sight. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it, right, is just to say, well, these people were confused about the world and therefore were blind to what really can happen in the world. But as soon as he revealed these things to them, they became aware that, on a higher level of consciousness, and that's what gave them the ability to see that, like responsibility. You can only be responsible if you can see or foresee what can happen. Do you understand? And therefore you're behaving in an appropriate manner so as to minimize the risk of that occurring. As an adult, you try to do things safely, and I'm like, well, why is it children are reckless with safety, but adults are safety conscious? A lot of the reason is because we have children, and we actually care more about our children than we do about ourselves. That's profound in itself, because that's the Bible all over again, the Father and the Son, and how much the Father cares about his children, or the mother cares about the children.
Well, sometimes you can care so much that you either send them off into the wilderness or you'll put a knife to their throat.
Well, yeah, that's in the Bible, but some people don't understand what that test is. Right? Me and you, thankfully, we don't have to do such things. Okay, it's not a requirement of us.
Such things. I like to do such things.
But in some cases, like for example, a father that could be in a relationship, that relationship might be doomed for whatever reason between the man and the woman. So in a way, he's sacrificing, his children in order that the greater purpose be served. In other words, he doesn't live in that house anymore, so it just becomes a single parent, and it happens. And that's the reason some people give for themselves. And I'm saying that only occurs because forgiveness is too few. It's infrequently used. Forgiveness it's almost like that's too hard for anybody to do these days, and because mentally people have become immature. That's why it's hard for some people to grasp what I'm saying, because you have to expound it to bring everything in and make them realize, wow, my whole life really, you can boil it down to simple things like morals and ethics and love, and that's the primary reason why we're here. I'm not trying to sound over intellectual. I'm just trying to say that Nietzsche had a great thought. I swear, it sounds like Humpty Dumpty, innit? Nietzsche had a great thought and fell off the wall kind of thing. But we've perpetuated it, haven't we? We've perpetuated his mythology like other mythologies that are preceding it, and they're the ones that are living mythologies now. But he lives and breathes through books. He won't come alive again, but in a way, everything that he thought, which is consciousness, which is being alive, is eternally alive. Just in the same way, you can have children and teach your children, and if they are obedient, I suppose, to your values, that value can live forever in your genealogy. But the point is now, every time we get a technology, people stop caring, and it's up to certain people to make them recognise, no, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because this stuff's still important. Just because you can type, also know how to read and write, with paper or whatever. Know how to write letters with your own hand and a pen. You don't think them skills are still important just because we've got to another level?
You think those skills are in such danger?
I do. I think they're always in danger because we all have a tendency to say, oh, that's someone else's responsibility. There's so many people in the world. Surely someone else will care about that. What's great about the internet is you can actually search for something. And if it ain't there, you realise, wow, no one's thought of this yet. So I can bring that thought back into the world because that's all we're doing. You know, it was already there. But we have forgotten about it because we became detached from reality, everyday reality. And it's time to you know, once you unplug out the matrix, you need to go somewhere, and that somewhere where you go is real life. Yeah, and therefore, if you're in real life, morals and ethics and values and wisdom counts again. Yeah, because you can't just explain it away with you know, a smart little Facebook tag or whatever. You got to deal with it in your real life now. And reality, you know, walking the path is different to talking the path. Loads of people on Facebook, on the internet, got all the answers, haven't they? They can talk the path. But you tell them, now go live that path. You know, make that manifest the way you just said it was going to manifest. So I believe in that. You know? That's why I like these discussions, because we'll start off, we don't necessarily have to agree. Because we're sharing information. It's only probably at the end we can agree on certain things, and we start to find points where we agree more and more and more by discussing. So having the discussion is a right thing to do. We've invented a tool, the internet, to have more discussions with what? Human beings, we hope, and not AI. Although a lot of it is AI trying to figure us out and trying to become like us. They've got programs out there that are trying to study us like that, but they're not us. And so what is their purpose? Why are they trying to know this information? For a human being, information, certain information matters. You care. But what's care in a world of robots? You know, robots that follow the system and follow rules that, you know, will lead to their doom if they don't, you know, change that. You know what I mean? You need thinkers. You need people that come outside the box and challenge your thinking. I need you to challenge my thinking, but you also need me to challenge your thinking, because you're saying you read a book. All them words could have gone in your head and you don't know a thing. It's the same like people read the Bible and all them words go in their head and they don't understand a thing about
what Nietzsche thought. It's about what I think.
Exactly. It is about what you think, and it is about what I think. And we're still going to bring it together.
Up with some handy terms which I can use in terms to describe my thought. That's fine.
You know the difference between you and Nietzsche, though? Nietzsche can't change a single thing now. It's almost like he's set in stone. You understand? And we can change that now. We can add our own thoughts. So in a way, what Hitler was doing with Nietzsche is what we all do.
Counterfeiting, forgery, and misappropriation.
No, but we take a belief that fits our own belief and make it fit, rather than really say, well, what does this guy really mean? Because if they're going out in the world and they have a power to create that, do I want them to create that? Am I going to co-create it with them? You don't wonder why some thoughts in the world just end up dead. There's plenty of dead people that have died before us, but also with them, thoughts died. And maybe they had the cures for all sorts of things, but never got heard.
I wouldn't say I'm a follower of Nietzsche so much as he was a follower of me and what I am.
Well, he's a predecessor.
No, it's maybe...
But the eternal virtues he questions...
Some guy who maybe predicted that the sun would rise. Well, really? Is that so hard to predict?
It goes on in every age.
Like some people,
in every age.
People seem to have forgot that the sun will rise.
Do you remember that jumping Jesus idea, right? Where, at every given moment in history, you have one Jesus, then it multiplies, you have 4 Jesuses, then 8 Jesuses, then 16, and so on. So that by the time you get to the times we're in now, you have a Jesus born every second, pretty much. Which is the people who are enlightened suddenly getting it. You know, you have these geniuses you had a Christ. You had a Christ who had a genius moment, and suddenly the world is changed forever. That idea goes and changes the whole world. But then by the time you get to the Renaissance, called the Renaissance because there was a whole transformation, wasn't there? arts, culture, technology, it all changed because of ideas. You had suddenly loads of geniuses all over the world. And now we're in this time where we've got pretty much everyone's a genius. Yeah? But you got to be careful when you're a genius in a world of other geniuses, haven't you? Because if you don't respect everybody else's genius...
As a genius in the world of general knowledge.
Oh yeah, that too. Because we're still humble like a baby. We still know nothing. We know loads, but we know nothing. And when we know nothing, that's like putting the brakes on to keep it safe. Let's just say, whoa, we know a lot, but wait a minute, we know nothing. So let's just stop a minute and see what we really do know. You know? Without sounding stupid or facetious or whatever about it. We know stuff, because obviously we've created stuff with that, but consequences of having knowledge, it's become an afterthought, it's become post-production. It's like if you make something it causes a disaster, you post-production a remedy, you put a fix in place, but if you'd have actually done your proper homework, you'd realise that might explode, so don't do that. We'll do it a safer way, and then you don't have to post-production it with propaganda. Yeah?
No.
No, well, you're entitled to your thoughts. We're all entitled to it. Just so long as we're not trying to impose ideas on everybody, because that's where governments go wrong. They've got to allow choice. If the choice has suddenly been changed for everybody permanently, then it's no longer a choice, and they've not done the job properly. Yeah, they should have a choice. Yeah, if they like fracking's not a choice, is it? It's just that's corporations wanting to make more money. That's not been given to the people. They said, let's have a discussion about this fracking, and I'll tell you all about it, and then you can tell me what your thoughts are. Just in the same way you can turn around and say, oh Jules, you're full of crap, and you don't know about it, you haven't read it, and you're just surmising this. Well, hold on a minute. Yeah, maybe it is surmising this, that, and the other, because you haven't given us access to your book. Let's have a read of your book, and then we'll be on the same page. Okay. Right, I can see what you're saying. In your book, it looks all hunky-dory. But who wrote the book?
Who cares?
I care, because Nietzsche's talking about Nietzsche, and then someone's just putting him back out again. It's still Nietzsche talking about Nietzsche. He ain't talking about necessarily others unless Nietzsche agrees with it. So is he really such a good thinker? Because if he's not able to then take someone else's idea and give them one credit for it to show that we as human beings were fallible, and we'll study others, and we have teachers in life, people who teach us great things, great mysteries, it then becomes a religion of Nietzsche, doesn't it?